In this edition of Easy PPC Tutorials, I want to give some general advice around the fact that not all clicks are created equal when it comes to Google Ads or any form of pay-per-click advertising for that matter. So, really common scenario I'll encounter is business owners running Google Ads. They might have set their ads up themselves, or they've maybe even come to me to set them up on their behalf. Although I'm doing more and more kind of review and analysis work these days of other people's Google Ads activity, basically. And what will happen is the business owner will be quite fixated on the number of clicks they're getting. So they're tracking, are we getting more or less clicks each month, each quarter, each year, and get pretty fixated on click volume as a kind of metric. Now, the thing with that is that not all clicks are created equal, and clicks don't really tell you anything much about the value of the visitor to the website. You really do want to spend more time focusing on metrics that actually turn more meaningfully into leads and sales and opportunities for your business. Because at the end of the day, it's not that hard to drive tons of low quality clicks from Google Ads, even Google search ads. Obviously, the sort of cheat code mode, if you want to just get tons of traffic for cheap from Google Ads, is use display advertising. And display advertising, you probably be pretty familiar with. If I load up, say, any sort of news website in my local area, make sure my ad block is off and refresh the page, I'll start to see display advertising and I'll see some loading up on the page. Something like this travel insurance ad here, that's a classic example of a display ad. It's actually an ads by Google display ad. But if I go back and look at the search, let's imagine that I'm operating a mortgage broker business, right? Now, someone's searching mortgage broker near me in Christchurch, which is the city in which I live in New Zealand. This is an example of a good sort of search, right? Clicks from this type of search are likely to be pretty relevant. Now, there's always a variance day in, day out. This is something that's really hard to kind of get your head around sometimes, is just the fact that, one day you might have 5 really good clicks on your ad and they all turn into leads, and then you might have a dry spell for a week or 2 weeks, and then the process repeats. There's always going to be variance in days and weeks and so on. But if you're focusing on good quality search terms, good quality keywords, like if you're offering a mortgage broker service in Christchurch, something like mortgage broker near me is likely to generate some pretty good quality clicks. Well, you probably pay quite a lot for these clicks because of the industry and so on. But a lot of business owners running Google Ads, what they want to do is advertise for terms like mortgage. So somebody's looking for a mortgage, they're going to type in mortgage into Google, and we want to show up number one for that because that's going to get us tons of impressions and tons of clicks. I can see the logic in it, but there's a couple of problems here. One is that you're generally going to be competing more aggressively for some of these terms. So if we look at mortgage here, we've now starting to see ads from some of the big banks here in New Zealand, like ANZ and ASB and SBS and so on, and they've got deep pockets. They've got deeper pockets than the average mortgage broker. They can pay more for this kind of traffic because who's going to make more money out of the average mortgage that's signed up? Mortgage broker or the bank that's actually lending the money? Obviously, it's going to be the bank that's lending the money. So you can wind up in chasing clicks by sort of going broader with your keyword targeting, wind up competing, with bigger players who've got deeper pockets, more capabilities than you, and so on. There's that aspect to it. The second aspect is just getting more impressions and clicks on your ads doesn't necessarily yield any better results. Someone typing mortgage into Google, are they looking to take out a mortgage? Are they looking for information about what mortgage rates or interest rates currently are? Here in New Zealand, I think same thing's happening around the world, but like at the moment, interest rates are going through the roof. And so a lot of people are starting to pay attention for the first time in a while, to be honest, to what mortgage rates and interest rates are, because they borrowed money at 2.5% a couple of years ago, and suddenly they're looking at refixing their mortgage at 6.5%, 7%, something crazy like that. And so people are paying a whole load of more attention to these mortgage rates. They might be looking for information around that, just general news. There's not enough precision and intent communicated in a search like mortgage, but time and time again, business owners will be, oh, hey, Sam, why don't we advertise for mortgage? Why don't we advertise these broad words? We want to get more clicks. We need more clicks. Clicks is not a good measure. If you want to focus on clicks and knowing that you're driving a volume of clicks to your website and getting lots of visitors makes you feel comfortable, well, then go and run display advertising or, just advertise for anything remotely related to your industry. So, if someone's looking for a mortgage, well, they might want a house. So why not advertise for house? Or house for sale or something like that. And you could probably draw a vague connection between someone looking for a mortgage and someone looking for a house, and they kind of go together, and you can get a whole lot of clicks that way. This is not the right strategy to employ with search advertising, particularly, whether it's on Google, on Bing, any other search engine. The key thing in my view is always to be going for precision. When I'm talking about precision, what I mean there is that you really want your ad creative, your messaging, and ultimately your offer to be aligned with what the searcher is looking for, what the prospective customer is looking for. So it's not just enough that someone's showing a cursory interest in a mortgage. You really want to go first and foremost after the people in your target market, your local area, who are searching right now for a mortgage broker, because that's the service that you provide. You run a mortgage broking business, or if you sell chainsaws, you want people who are looking for, where to buy a chainsaw, or chainsaw sales online, or anything that's relevant like that. Whereas if someone just searches chainsaw, it's probably too broad, at least at the starting point. Now, as you grow your business, and if you're a larger advertiser with a bigger budget, like these banks here, you've probably got the ability to do a couple of things. One is you'll have more sort of resource and capability on board in the marketing department, and so you might have the ability to capture these lower level leads in terms of their intent, alignment, and interest, and then convert them using all sorts of things from marketing automation to outbound selling to account management to whatever it is. You can kind of deal with these lower quality leads and work them through your pipeline. Also, you're generally going to have a larger budget to play with. So I'd imagine that ANZ, which is I think the largest bank in New Zealand, if not one of the largest banks, is going to have a lot more budget than a local mortgage broker. And so ANZ can afford to pay for basically less interested, lower quality traffic as almost more of a branding play and a establishing position in the market play. Whereas if you're really dependent on effectively profiting and almost arbitraging Google Ads, you need to focus on click quality rather than click quantity. So if you're running a mortgage broker, unless you've got very deep pockets, you probably don't just want to be paying for somewhat interested parties to click on your ad. You want to go first and foremost for the most interested individuals, the best qualified, the most relevant. And then once you've kind of exhausted that pool, well, then you can make a value-based judgment and sort of performance-based judgment as to whether you expand outwards from there and go after less interested parties. But in the first instance, don't focus on click volume. Focus on click quality. Focus on alignment of the search and sort of intent and what that user is looking for to the solution your business offers, the product you provide, the service you sell. If you do that and then you focus on lead generation, sale generation through e-commerce and so on, it's going to be a lot more effective than running Google search ads just to get a whole lot of clicks. Because not all clicks are the same. If you get 100 clicks and they're really targeted, and then you expand your keyword targeting, you get 500 clicks that are less targeted, you're probably going to pay a whole lot more money, even if your cost per click goes down somewhat. And you may not deliver any additional value for your business. And if you want to use, digital advertising to establish your brand, and get your message out there to people who aren't necessarily in market, they're just potentially a customer based on alignment with your persona or whoever you're going after. So you're a mortgage broker who knows, for example, that young couples aged 30 to 40 are the best target for your business, but you're not necessarily going after ones who are looking for a mortgage broker right now. Well, doing search advertising is not the most cost effective way to make that happen. You'd be much better off to look at other advertising opportunities, both online and offline, that are more effective in terms of getting distribution of your message. Whereas search advertising is really about trying to capture demand. So hopefully you find that helpful. If you've got any questions, please do let me know in the comment section. But yeah, long story short, don't focus too much on clicks. Focus on the quality of the clicks. So click quantity is not really a metric that you should spend too much time focusing on. Go deep into the quality and sort of conversion aspect that's going to lead to better results for your business.